Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the class of 2017, 124th commencement exercises of the Marcellus Central School District. Please stand. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 124th commencement exercises of the Marcellus Central School District. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Andrew Marsh, class president of Marcellus Senior High School, and then the singing of our alma mater by selected members of our senior class. Andrew?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Sing a song for old Marcellus, shout aloud the cheer, lift thy hearts and voices in a ringing song. Old Marcellus, best of high schools, school we love most dear, may thy sons and daughters thy name revere.
Thank you. You may be seated. It is my honor to introduce the distinguished members of the Marcellus Central School District Board of Education and honored guests who will share the stage with the class of 2017. I would kindly ask you to hold your applause until we have acknowledged both sides. To my right is the Board of Education, Board President Ryan Riefler, Board Vice President John Fuller, Board Member David LaCastro, Board Member Thomas West, Board Member Janine Lundrigan, Board Member Michael McAuliffe, Board Member Patty Sager, and to my left, Superintendent of Schools Michelle Brantner, Acting KCH Principal Catherine Cook, Driver Middle School Principal Janet O'Mara, Assistant Superintendent of Pupil Services Trish McCarron, School Business Administrator Anthony Sinaccio, and our commencement speaker today, Joseph Goss. Also located in our front row and on the stage are distinguished members of the faculty who will share our graduation today with the seniors. I would ask them to stand and also be recognized. Please stand. Ladies and gentlemen, the distinguished guests of graduation. It is my pleasure to introduce you to our Superintendent of Schools, Michelle Brantner.
Good afternoon, graduates of the class of 2017, families and friends. For those of you that I've not had a chance to meet, my name, as John said, is Michelle Brantner, and I am the very proud Superintendent of Schools here in the Marcellus School District. This day, we celebrate the accomplishments and achievements of the group of graduates before us. As a mother, a former teacher, and high school principal, I still go through the mixed emotions as we watch a group of young people that we've cared for and nurtured for many years leave our doors, ready to enter the world. After sitting through the graduation ceremony here last year and watching how the Marcellus school community celebrates its students, I admittedly felt a great deal of excitement at the chance to watch as you, the next group of seniors, progress through your final year of high school to find your way to this stage, and here you are. My thoughts for you today focus around the word change. As I think about change, I think of the parents sitting in the audience. Some of you will be experiencing an empty nest very soon, or even the departure of your firstborn from the household. With that change comes fear, excitement, sadness, and of course, a potentially smaller grocery bill. I also think about the changes that you, the graduates, are about to experience. You see, many of you were born and raised within the Marcellus school community. You've known the comfort of having a close-knit group of people to support you, cheer you on, and even give you a good, strong lecture when one was needed. Sometimes it probably felt like you had more sets of parents than you knew what to do with. Along with all of the wonderful aspects about being from a small town, you've also experienced some not so wonderful aspects. You see, you're all human. All of you sitting here today have made mistakes. Some of you have shown aspects of your character when you weren't at your best. And some of you live with the label, good or bad, given to an older sibling or even your mother or father from their days as a Marcellus Mustang. This dynamic can be one that stifles your ability to grow, improve, and change. I used to tell 8th graders as they entered high school that this was their opportunity to transform themselves, to fix parts of their character, work habits, relationships, or even level of academic achievement. After saying that for many years, I realized that their ability to make such changes among people they had known their whole lives was actually incredibly difficult, if not impossible. But you, graduates, for the first time in your lives, you truly have that chance. Tomorrow you begin your new adventure. You enter a world where if you aren't willing to be flexible, roll with the punches, and embrace continuous change, you're probably in big trouble. The great part about this new adventure is that you all now have the chance to decide who you will be in that world. You can even reinvent part of yourselves and become all of the things that you wish to be. That may mean continuing with some of the wonderful habits you already have developed while abandoning others. I urge you to do some thinking about that chance that you now have in front of you. Sometimes if we don't capture those moments, they're quickly lost. I know that if you don't already feel fortunate to have been raised as a Marcellus Mustang, it won't be long before you will. I myself feel incredibly blessed to be accepted into such a caring community and can honestly say that it has been an honor for me watching you grow throughout this school year. Now, we all know that no graduation speech is complete without a quote or two from some famous people, and I am certainly not going to be the one to break that rule. So as you graduate today, I thought it only fitting to share some advice in the form of quotes from some very famous people who also happen to be going through a big change in their lives too. It's called retirement. Now, one of those famous individuals, Mr. Joe Goss, you aptly selected as your commencement speaker, and so I am sure he will be sharing loads of advice with you shortly. But allow me to provide some from a few others. Mrs. Fran Hagen, your famous elementary school art teacher, shared the following: "The best art usually happens from a mistake. It makes us be creative and think outside the box. Embrace the happy accidents in your life." In the words of the famous Mrs. Trish McCarran, our assistant superintendent who is also retiring, "Follow your passion, but don't be afraid to make changes along the way. You never know what wonderful experiences are just around the corner." Of course, the ever-famous Mrs. Marion Hares, soon to be on to the next chapter in her life, chimed in, reminding you to take a study break and play some Catan. Be careful with that one, at least until you get your first semester grades. And no set of advice would be complete without Mrs. Lisa Tonzi, your beloved middle school social studies teacher, who shared, "Start every day with your gratitude list, made up of 10 things that you are thankful for. Keep it next to your bed. Always be humble, grounded, and faithful." Well, I can't think of a better group of famous people to send you on your way. May your futures be bright and full of love, happiness, and good health. Thank you for the mark you have left on our school, and congratulations to you all.
At this time, the class of 2017 would like to share a slideshow with you. The slides have been arranged by Ryan Olp and Michaela Tangretti with help from Alyssa Fazewski and Tristan Wiley. Have your tissues ready, parents. Can you help? Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce to you our senior class president, Mr. Andrew Marsh.
Class of 2017, we stand on the shores of a new day, one where we might not have the help of yesterday, but rather the optimism of tomorrow. The destination of a better future will drive us. Our parents have sheltered us and kept us safe, and we thank them for that. The teachers, staff, and other faculty members here at Marcellus have given us our ship and compass through our education, and we thank them for that. But now it's time to chart a new course for ourselves. I can guarantee that the seas of life will be treacherous. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Others will try to drag you down to their depths, envious of any success you might have. Don't let the tempest that swirls around you affect who you are on the inside. I know that if we apply ourselves and tackle any problems that may come our way, we have absolutely nothing to fear. Now, at this time, I would like to read the poem Invictus by William Ernest Henry as some words of wisdom. Out of the night that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. And yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. That's it, isn't it? We have training wheels on throughout our high school years. Maybe that's why we're in such a hurry to get our learner's permit. Because that's what high school is, a learner's permit. Now it's time to be the captains of our souls and choose a direction of our own, to take the wheel and give it a spin. Sometimes we'll hit a rock, we may even capsize. Life will certainly bloody us, often beat us to our knees, but the lessons ingrained in us will allow us to rise, to soar, to triumph. No growth can happen without failure. No success can happen without fear. It is by smiling through petty disaster that we will achieve our goals. I say to you, my class of 2017, that you will never be alone in your struggle, that we will always have the support of each other on our journey. I wish each one of you the best that life has to offer. Thank you.
Before I read the next citation, I would ask members of the audience and members on the stage who have served in our militaries to please stand. Marcella Senior High School students have a proud history of military service to this country, from the battlefields of the Civil War to the sands of Normandy to the deserts of the Middle East. Mustangs have fought valiantly and honored their country, their community, and their families. It is an honor to introduce you to 5 graduates who have chosen the same path, and I would ask them to come forward and stand with our veterans. Noah Carbone. Noah has enlisted in the United States Army. His MOS is infantry. Corey Garvey. Corey has enlisted in the United States Army. His MOS is infantry. Sean Kearney will attend the Citadel. Kieran Reagan will attend the United States Military Academy at West Point. Andrew Marsh will attend the United States Military at West Point. Congratulations to you and Godspeed. Thank you, gentlemen. You can be seated. One of the long-standing traditions at Marcellus Senior High School has been that of honors graduates. We honor the students who have achieved an average of 90 or better for their first 3.5 years at Marcellus. I would ask the following students to stand and remain standing when I call their names. Please hold your applause until the end of the list. The 2017 honors graduates are Tristan Wiley, Elizabeth White, Caleb Weatherall, Michael Welch, Courtney Waldroff, Corey Wade, Abby Vetch, Grace Venzel, Abigail Van Camp, Hannah Tiroli, Michaela Tangretti, Matthew Strempel, Alex Tezuk, Crystal Silliman, Timothy Sheridan, Drake Satter, Haley Ruggles, Shane Roy, Sarah Roy, Colette Regas, Kiernan Reagan, Sean Raymond, Anna Perry, Jennifer Osborne, Brianna Meyer, Caitlin McWhirter, Isabella Matro, Andrew Marsh, Sydney Lewis, Nick Levy, Braxton Knapp, Elizabeth Kelsey Gossard, Nathan Keller, Eve Hughes, Kira Hawes, Taylor Gould, Tyler Gerpsch, Allison Field, Kayla Drager, McKenna Donegan, Abby Donahue, Daniel Cusick, Mary Catherine Kuhn, Megan Connor, Madison Conklin, Allison Clancy, Anna Canny, Kevin Brown, Michael Brown, Margaret Brennan, Caitlin Besessi, Robert Bile, Josh Barrows, and Emily Alexander. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2017 honors grads. You may be seated. Our honors address this year will be given by Mr. Sean Raymond. Sean?
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey, guys. I cannot begin to express how thrilled I am to speak in front of you now, to represent and be a part of this extraordinary class. Together as a class, we have been through quite a bit together. It all started with our days in the elementary school, perhaps our first day getting on the bus, or maybe sitting in your squad at gym, walking in the Halloween parade, and even getting slivers on that old wooden playground. But then we moved on to the middle school. We were little fish in a much bigger pond now. For many of you, you picked up band, chorus, or maybe even both. And for the guys, we finally became taller than the girls. Time flew by, and soon enough, 7th and 8th grade were at the door. And we thought we were the bee's knees. Walking down the hall with our heads held high, we were invincible. Then came high school. And we were small fish once again. Only now, we were coping with the everyday freshman struggles of getting budged in line at lunch and being taunted by every other class at the pep rally. Like it or not, my peers, one day that was us. But today it isn't. I realize that when we look back like this, we see the things that tend to uplift us and make us smile. The struggles that we went through in school are not the first thing to naturally come to mind. Any pain or trouble you encountered these past years seems distant now. Because we're human, we move on, and that's one of the best traits this class has to offer. Happiness is one of the few things that we live for. This is a small school, and I know each and every single one of you on some level. I know I am not alone in saying that I truly wish this class happiness as you all move on to your next chapter. But things are going to get tough. We are going to be tested in life, severely. Like many of us are probably going to have to start doing our own laundry. But seriously, in a couple of months, you will all leave. You will all become the captains of your own ship. No one's going to hold your hand. Things will be hard to manage. School, jobs, paying for school, laundry. The key point I'm trying to make is, as long as we're happy, we will enjoy our lives despite having copious amounts of responsibility and stress. Happiness is fickle, to say the least. I can't define it. To you, it's one thing, and to say Mr. Durkee, it's something completely different. We can't see happiness as this ever-elusive, esoteric, tangible thing. If that's the case, then when will we ever become happy? Will we ever achieve it? Or will we keep wanting more and more? And before you know it, our time will be up. A famous quote I once heard was, "Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present." And earlier I wished you all of you happiness in these upcoming years. And while I hope to see you succeed as well, it's not a standard I use when looking at how well other people are doing. Happiness is not dependent on your success. You don't need a high salary, a perfect GPA, or a nice car to be happy, although the car might help. Happiness is a mindset by choice. If you tell yourself you won't be happy unless you get this or that, then you know what? You won't. Everyone is a little greedy. It's not a bad thing. We will always just want something new or more. Furthermore, if you think this way, life will be an endless pursuit of happiness. Unless we can realize that, we will spend our lives chasing tangible objects that in the end we can't take with us. But do you know what? Happiness can be left behind. I guarantee you that if we live happy lives no matter what our paths hold, our happiness will rub off on others. I hate to be cliche like one of those commercials where one person does something nice and it starts the whole chain reaction of good deeds, but that's the concept I'm getting at. And you know what? People will remember you for it, as the guy or girl who always had a smile on their face. With all this in mind, I urge you, my class, when you're down, remember that happiness is a product of what life has given you. It's just whether or not you choose to accept it. We have all lived beautiful lives, and I know we will all continue to live beautiful lives. Just remember, as Charlotte would say, keep your chin up. Lastly, I want to acknowledge all the people who got us here today. Parents, friends, and especially the teachers. We could not have done it without your help. We can never repay you for putting up with us for 13 years. Thank you very much. Before I leave, I would like to read a poem by Mother Teresa that I want you all to remember. People are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and some genuine enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you. Be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend years creating, others could destroy overnight. Create anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the best you have, and it will never be enough. Give your best anyway. In the final analysis, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. Thank you, everybody. Congratulations, and God bless Marcella's class of 2017. Thanks.
Thank you, Sean. At this time, it's my sincere honor to present the awards to the graduating seniors. As you may well imagine, choosing the recipients for these awards has been difficult. There are so many strong candidates in this class from which to choose. I have asked Superintendent Brantner to join me on stage to help me. The first award is the Ryan Alazansky Award. The Ryan Alazansky Award was established in memory of Ryan, a 1999 graduate of Marcella Senior High School. It is a merit-based scholarship given to a deserving graduating senior who possesses similar qualities and characteristics. It is awarded to a student who demonstrates strength of character through leadership, community service, and commitment to helping those in need. This year's recipient is Isabella Matro. The Federman Durant Science Award is given in memory of Mr. Federman, who was the Marcellus High School physics teacher and science department chair, and Reginald Durant, who was an earth science teacher and science department chair. This award goes to an outstanding science student, and this year's recipient is Caleb Weatherall. The Marcellus Optimist Club donates the Donald Kilcoyne Bosse's Award to the student whose grades and attendance make them the most outstanding graduate in our Bosse's occupational education classes. This year's recipient is Mr. Kevin Brown. The Mulroy Scholarship Fund is an award established by the Mildred R. Mulroy pursuant to the provisions of her last will and testament. The award is given to students pursuing an education in the field of mathematics and/or science. The recipients this year of the Mulroy Scholarship are Mr. Sean Raymond and Elizabeth White. The Hugh Dawson Military Service Award goes to a student entering military service. The award this year goes to Andrew Marsh. The Ida Gleason Award is an award given in memory of Ida Gleason by the County South Resource Center to a graduating senior or seniors based on community service and financial need. This year's recipients are Dylan Lavender and Skylar Lavender. The Marcellus Central School District Bus Driver Scholarship, with help from the 9-milers, awards a scholarship funded. It is given to seniors for perseverance and effort in achieving their education. This year, the bus drivers chose 3: Mr. Kevin Brown, Michael Brown, and Isabella Matro. The Marcellus Rotary Club donates the next award, which is given to a senior who exemplifies the Rotary motto, service above self, as evidenced through his or her senior language arts portfolio service learning reflection piece. This year's recipient is Michaela Tangretti. The family of Michael Cogswell presents the Michael Cogswell Memorial Award. It is to a student who has combined love of English and love of music. This award goes to Margaret Brennan. The Lions Club Scholarship is provided by the Martisco Lions Club and presented to graduating seniors based on community involvement and exemplary work ethic. The recipients of the Lions Club's award this year are Miss Grace Venzel and Abigail Van Camp. The Jonathan Clark Memorial Scholarship is presented by the Clark family in memory of John Clark, a 1986 graduate of Marcellus High School. John loved music and was an active member of the MCS band. This award goes to a graduating senior who has a background in music and has been accepted to an institution of higher learning where he or she will participate in music activities and/or performance. This year's recipient is Mr. Tyler Gertsch. The Dorothy Long Scholarship is given by the Marcellus High School graduates of the classes from 1931 to 1939 to honor their class advisor. The recipient this year is Miss Isabella Matro. The family of John Joseph Lamont has established the John Joseph Lamont Scholarship. It is presented to graduating seniors who embrace academics and espouse the principles of respect, kindness, and compassion for every person. The recipients of the John Joseph Lamont Scholarship this year are Colette Regas and Elizabeth White. The family and friends of Michael Sheridan have established the Michael Sheridan Memorial Scholarship. The scholarship is awarded to student athletes who exemplify similar characteristics to Michael, a student who worked hard and is competitive both in the classroom and on the athletic field. These students must have the strong desire to achieve in both areas. We are presenting this award to the following: Ms. Emily Welch and Mr. Nicholas D. Stefano. The Nicole Seaman Memorial Humanitarian Award is given in memory of Nicole Seaman, a member of the class of 1998. This award is intended to recognize a member of the class who has demonstrated a compassionate attitude and whose behavior has positively impacted the lives of others. The recipient this year is Ms. Hannah Tiroli. The Marcellus Faculty Association Scholar Incentive Award is provided by the Marcellus Faculty Association and presented to a graduating senior for academic excellence. The recipient this year is Michaela Tangretti. Our Board of Education gives an art purchase award to honor one piece of work that the art teachers select as representing the best work completed by a senior student. This work will then be hung in the high school library. This year's art purchase award winner is Abigail Van Camp. The Holly Prentiss Memorial Scholarship is provided by our Fine Arts Department to a graduating senior who best exemplifies the qualities, values, and morals that Holly stood for. It is being presented to Kamani Bell Hunter. The Robert Midgley Memorial Award is given in memory of Mr. Midgley, a dedicated community member, father, husband, and professional photographer. Many cherished moments of Marcella Senior High School proms, balls, and senior portraits were captured by Bob. It is his dedication and passion for the art of photography and his love of the Marcella Central School District that we are here to commemorate. This year's recipients are Mr. Thomas Fiacchi and Isabella Matro. The Marcellus High School Character Education Award is presented to students who embody Marcellus Senior High School's values and traits in and out of school, integrity, tenacity, and community throughout their entire high school career. This year's recipients are Daniel Cusick and Michaela Tangretti. The Christine Parish Nursing Scholarship, an award presented to a graduating senior pursuing a career in nursing and/or the medical field. This year's recipient is Allison Field. The Atisco Lake Preservation Association Care of the Environment Award is an award given to a deserving senior to continue their study of environmental, biological, or health science, especially relating to water conservation, quality or protection. This award goes to Daniel Cusick. The Rodrigo Scholarship is given to a graduating senior who will study fine arts at the college level. The award is given to Abigail Van Camp. The Carmen Costa Memorial Scholarship is given to a student who demonstrates the characteristics exemplified by Mr. Costa. The student is caring, conscientious, encourages his or her classmates, and has demonstrated high musical achievement and dedication to the band program. This year's recipient is Courtney Waldriff. The Patty Weiss Educational Assistance Award is given to a graduating senior from Marcella Senior High School who plans to study science at a 2-year and 4-year or a 4-year college, and who has demonstrated a consistent commitment to Baltimore Woods through their volunteer programs. This year's award winner is Anna Canny. The McClurg Building for the Future Educational Assistance is given to a senior who is participating in a trade, independent study, internship, or a job in the future that will involve construction, carpentry, design, or a related field, and has shown hands-on aptitude, academic success, and positively contributed to the community. The first ever recipient of this award is Mr. Sean Raymond. The Holland University Excellence Award is given to a student who has exceptional language skills and who possesses curiosity, initiative, and high work ethic. The award is funded through the Decker Award for an outstanding teacher given to Jessica Cuello in 2014. The recipient this year is Anna Canny. The Malcolm Memorial Award is donated by the Daughters of John R. Malcolm, who for 38 years served as president of the Marcellus Board of Education. This year's recipient is Courtney Waldriff. The Jody Tanner Carla Memorial Scholarship is given in memory and celebration of our favorite math teacher here years ago, Jody Carla. It is given to a senior pursuing post-secondary education and who serves as a positive role model through perseverance, determination, versatility, loyalty, honesty, compassion, and commitment throughout his or her high school tenure. This year's recipient is Mr. Braxton Knapp. The next award is the Marcellus Academic Award. The Marcellus Academic Club, which consists of parents, teachers, and community members, presents the top 3 graduating seniors with the highest grade point average with the following awards. I'll call them up individually and ask you to hold your applause to the end. I will start with the 3rd highest average, Andrew Marsh, with a 99.37. Andrew is president of the senior class, varsity cross-country member, varsity track member, member of Rho Kappa, member of Spanish Honor Society, member of National Honor Society. He was a 2016 Boys State participant. He is an Eagle Scout, and he took 5 AP courses as well as SUPA and honors courses, and as you know, he'll be attending West Point next year. Maggie Brennan is our second with a 99.41. Maggie is Secretary of National Honor Society, Art Editor of the Lit Mag, Secretary of Student Council, Treasurer of Rho Kappa, member of the Symphonic Band, member of the Science Olympiad, member of the Math League. On top of that, she competes nationally in Irish step dancing and is currently ranked 35th in the Northeast and 65th in North America. She has taken 7 AP courses as well as honors courses and will be attending the University of Rochester next year. Our top award goes to Anna Canny with a 100.47 weighted average. Anna is president of the French National Honor Society. She is president of the Outdoor Club. She is Lit Mag editor. She is a member of NHS. She's a varsity tennis player. She's a member of the Symphonic Band. She is a research assistant at SUNY ESF, being paid through a sponsorship by the National Science Foundation. Last summer, she spent the entire summer in Alaska with the Center for Alaskan Coastal Studies, studying and teaching marine science and forest ecology. Anna will be attending Cornell University in the fall. The Chester Driver, the next award is the Chester Driver and Lucy Sweet Scholarship. The Chester Driver and Lucy Sweet Scholarship Awards are presented to seniors based on the following criteria: high scholastic performance and ability, leadership given while at Marcellus, and participation in leadership and community affairs. The 4 recipients of this financial assistance are Michaela Tangretti, Anna Canny, Elizabeth White, and Shane Rowe. That's Anna. And the last award of the evening is the Robert Earl Baker Memorial Scholarship. It is given to students who meet the requirements of Mr. Baker's will. The criteria include strong academic standing, financial need, and a planned course of study. This is the 39th year that this scholarship has been given out and has an estimated value of over $40,000 over the next 4 years. This year, the committee chose 2 recipients, Mr. Matthew Strempel and Isabella Matro. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce our keynote address speaker for the day. Mr. Joe Goss has been in the Marcellus Central School District in all 3 buildings for the past 33 years. He is a Cortland State graduate for his undergraduate and his graduate degree. He was head football coach for 11 years, head basketball coach for 4 years, and head golf coach for 20 years. He won league titles in all sports and 2 sectional titles in golf. I think, however, he's best known for his role as the KCH physical education instructor. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joe Goss.
Thank you very much, Mr. Durkee. Well, hello to everyone, and a special hello, especially to those graduates over here, and the graduates that were new and did not go to KCH. I feel sorry for you. We had a great time, and nobody knew it was a little pond, and it was real happy over there while we were over there, so that's pretty good. It's an unbelievable honor to be a speaker coming from that school, because that was so long ago, and you had itty-bitty pictures and a little bit bigger pictures. Not too many of the pictures were from when you were over there, but that's how I really remember you. It's great to be the one. We do have a little history together. We had over 500 PE classes together at KCH, and we're all sort of graduating from Marcellus at the same time. You're graduating here in 2017. I had a 1 and a 7 in my high school graduation date also, but that would be 1971. So 1971, 4 years of college, 42 years of teaching and coaching all together. So I believe that I've started those thinking wheels in motion right now, and you're really thinking, how old is this guy? You helped keep me young over there. Because we had daily PE back then, I always felt that we should do more than just run and play and sweat. Secretly, sometimes not secretly, I encourage you to listen and think. Sometimes I would even warn you, sorry, but you might need to think today. We really went out of it there. Back then and today, listening and thinking were an hour part of every PE class. You came in, you read the board the best that you could, and then it would start. Are you going to do what it says? Are you going to look for help or cues from others that you're doing the right thing, or are you just going to go for it? Are you in your squad when other kids are in their spaces? I would try to give you cues, maybe a thumbs up, that it's cool to risk to do what you think is correct. After all, it's no big deal if you make a mistake. We had over 500 classes to get it right. We took imaginary trips together also in PE. We went to Alligator Island, and we squeezed together on top of that mat. And then, ironically, a couple of weeks later, you dreaded physically touching your square dance partner. I could never put the two together. We escaped the Titanic, but you had to figure out how to do it unless you remembered that we told you how to do it in kindergarten, and maybe you were the one that knew how to do it. Listening to the directions would usually give you the clues or answers as to how. Would you listen and think enough to be the one that knew? We had crazy days and fun too, like when the disco ball came out, and oh my gosh, the creativity and confidence that music brings out in certain people. And then you might come up and say, my mom plays that music in her car. And I would say, what a cool mom. We challenged you to get out of California before the pretend mudslides would wash you into the Pacific Ocean. You know, in your early years, it was easier as the challenge was just to get to another place. By third grade, though, more thinking, we added the mental challenges. Get everyone to a bordering state. So did you hear bordering? Did you hear everyone? Did you hear state? Maybe you weren't sure what a border was back then. I think you studied China instead of the U.S. geography, but that's okay. So maybe you didn't know what a border was then, or if Mexico was a state, but we certainly know everybody knows that now. And maybe even none of those states that we presented were really states that bordered California. So did you have the courage to come up and say, hey, none of those states border California. We have to start over on this. Maybe. It was all part of the game, trickery to get you to listen and think and perhaps become a leader. Maybe in our challenges, you were the student that came up and said, you just try to get us to argue. You enjoy that. Oh, hugely enjoyed it. So a lot of times I would try to help you out and maybe even get you to argue more when I would say, so who is your leader? And there was no response because I knew and you were learning that no leader means no progress and no problem solved. So generally we'd close class, we'd get together in the middle, and we could point out that this person over here had a great idea, was trying to be a leader, nobody would listen to them. So remember that next time. And we have to heap praise on that person for having the courage to actually try to stand up and maybe even end up crying because nobody would listen to that person, but they really were right. True leaders listen and think. When others hear, you can't stand on top of that scooter, it says you can't stand right on top of it to escape from wherever. And you told us. The leaders think, he didn't say we couldn't flip it over and walk on the bottom of it, because they're thinking outside the box. Our third grade leaders, 3 years ago already, listened and learned how to play our game of Civil War. Great game. And we told them why the war was fought. And then several days later, they asked when we could play that freedom game again. They got it. And how awesome it was that they understood that. And now we call the game freedom. We did countless activities on challenge days to get you to think, listen, learn, and take risks and become a leader. Taking risks can be hard, and it really can be uncomfortable. But when it works out, what a huge rush it can be. A couple of weeks ago, when you came back home to KCH, I spoke with Mr. Durkee about one of you who couldn't decide way back then to decide whether or not they wanted to try the voluntary putting contest. Anybody can do it. You don't have to do it. Like all kids, he was thinking, everybody's watching you while you're doing this. I'm not good at this. This is really hard. So the student walked around practicing and deciding until it was too late to wait any longer. I called, anybody that hasn't had a first shot, you need to come over now because this is it. And you all knew that if everybody missed, everybody got a new chance. We started over again. So I'm looking at the time, oh boy, we're in trouble here. We got to get going. So there's one person that still had to go. He was ready to take the plunge, and I said, okay, it looks like Jack Santee is the only one that hasn't had a turn yet. So Jack is very deliberate. He aimed forever, and after he took a shot, boom, right in, unbelievable. I gasped. But it was also great because now we knew we could end class on time. And we all stood just frozen in time and silence, and then it just got crazy. Jack took the risk, and as the kid who always wanted a trophy and never thought he would have a trophy, now had a trophy. For Jack to take that risk was pretty special, and I will always remember it. I also remember saying, if you want putting lessons, see Jack, because he was now a leader. So Jack, I've got to take a risk because I actually have a picture of you that day, and I'm not sure if I gave it to you. So can you come up and get it? More than likely, all of you had a chance to be a leader at different times. Just while KCH, line leader, the all-important line leader. And I remember saying, well, I don't care who the line leader is, I just want it quiet. The line leader, exercise leader, maybe a spelling leader in the letterball kickball game. In real life, though, leading can be hard. In interviews, for meetings for some of our leadership awards or scholarships here at school, my question was always, being the leader is hard and so much extra work. Why do you want to do it? And the candidates generally would answer, they were good at solving problems, they wanted to be the one, and others would listen to them. But again, in real life, that only happens because the leaders also listen and they continue their learning, which helps them solve problems and have the ability to adapt to constant change in a world where the only constant is change. And Mrs. Brantner was just talking about that change on Friday with all of the staff. To some, leadership is a choice that they really don't want to go for. But really, are you planning on having a family someday? That family will need strong leaders who love them and care for them. Going to have a job? Well, even if you employ yourself, your employer wants problem solvers, not problems. In the future, those people, they held your hand when you were little. You may be involved in elder care, caring for those family members who once led you by the hand when you needed it. So is it really a choice? I don't think so. The fact that you are here today is evidence that you are a good listener, a powerful thinker, and you're sowing the seeds of leadership in your mind and heart. The road to leadership can be rough. Leaders are often labeled as rebels or troublemakers because they question the status quo. But a true leader has the confidence to understand that the process of listening, learning, and thinking brought you to the cusp of being a leader on some level. Thus, when your time comes, you can be the one. Listen, think, lead, throw in some love, and you'll be more than ready. I thank you very much for letting me be here. Thank you.
Ready to graduate? It is now time for our seniors to receive their diplomas. I would ask that the diplomas be brought to the stage, and I would ask Nikki Donahue to please come to the stage and read the names of the graduates. I would also ask that Superintendent Brantner and the Board of Education join me in bestowing the title of graduate upon our Marcellus seniors.
Emily Jeannie Alexander. Joshua Gage Barrows. Robert Gary Bile. Caitlin Marie Bassesi. Victoria Marie Booz. Margaret Marie Brennan. Kevin Christopher Brown. Michael Davidson Brown. Anna Elizabeth Canny. Allison Elizabeth Clancy. Madison Rose Conklin. Megan Louise Connor. Mary Catherine Mulhern Kuhn. Daniel C. Patrick Cusick. Abby Lee Donahue. McKenna Aislinn Donegan. Kayla Marie Drager. Allison Nicole Field. Tyler Scott Gerbsch. Taylor Marie Gould. Kira Nicole Hawes. Eve Elizabeth Hughes. Nathan Mingyu Killer. Elizabeth Marie Kelsey Gossard. Braxton Taylor Knapp. Nicholas John Levy. Sydney Quinn Lewis. Andrew James Marsh. Isabella Lawrence Matro. Caitlin Elizabeth McWhorter. Brianna Angelique Meyer. Jennifer Roxanne Osborne. Anna Kateri Perry. Sean Thomas Raymond. Kiernan James Reagan. Colette Amelia Regas. Sarah Eleanor Rowe. Shane Francis Rowe. Haley Ann Ruggles. Drake Thomas Satter. Timothy John Sheridan. Crystal Marie Silliman. Alec Joshua Stazuk. Matthew John Strempel. Michaela Anna Tangretti. Hannah Grace Tiroli. Sorry. Abigail Grace Van Camp. Grace Ann Venzel. Abigail Kathleen Vetch. Corey James Wade. Courtney Nicole Waldruff. Michael James Welch. Caleb Thomas Weatherall. Elizabeth Curtin White. Tristan Richard Wiley. James Chow Ngati. Kimani Melvin Bell Hunter. Trinity Ann Benyon. Noah Paul Carbone. Ashlyn Carlton Chunko. Dominic Joseph Chochi. Aaron Mackenzie Clare. Joshua Ryan Comstock. Eric Joseph Cooper. Henry Leanne Cox. Alex Michael Zerniak. Nicholas John D. Stefano. Grace Ann Donalds. Lila Grace Donegan. Riley James Donovan. Kathy Lee Duncan. Christopher John Dunn. Casey James Ezzo. Alyssa Danielle Fazuski. Nicholas Anthony Famano. Takenzie Margaret Hope Phi. What are you doing? Thomas Philip Fiacchi. Mackenzie Ann Flynn. Jacob Daniel Fogarty. Jordan Ray Freeland. Garrett Palmer Fernia. Nate Scott Garlow. Corey McGuire Carvey. Jared Allen Gates. Sienna George. Madison Elise Graham. Emily Elizabeth Gravatt. Max Warner Heinekamp. Alex David Henderson. Matthew Adrian Hogue. John Michael Hauser. Ryan Joseph Hunt. Billy Joe Hyde, the second. Rachel Alexandra Kaufman. Sean James Kearney. Sierra Alexis Rose Kelly. Margaret Elizabeth Kienka. William Robert Kissel III. Emily Marie Kocher. Tessa Han Ledoux. Dylan Robert Lavender. Skylar Dwight Lavender. Brian James LeClaire. Evelyn Horrigan Lubner. Nathan Robert Lilly. Kern Clark Linder. Brianna Michelle Lynn. Nathan Stephen Lukens. John Charles McManus. Colin James McVeigh. Jacob Douglas McWhorter. Robert Lee Maluzzi. Andrew Darren Mills. Ashley Marie Machola. Micah Lee Mixon. Alexander Cole Moan. Cameron James Moan. Kyle Tracy Myers. Ryan Elizabeth Olp. Emily Pearl Picamini. Mason Killian Pilot. Michael James Providente. Ryan Paul Quinlan. Hope Isabella Redfield. Samuel Edward Rice. Jack Anthony Santee. Nicholas Allen Santee. Catherine Ann Sorrow. Jacob Andrew Skatine. Brendan Lee Scram. Okay. Rebecca Elizabeth Surley. Michael James Seymour. Gabrielle Marie Schaefer. Matthew Curtis Shoemaker. Cassidy Lee Smithler. Sarah Marie Southern. Shannon Elizabeth Spears. Samuel Spencer Stearns. Shelby Jeannie Stupson. Frank William Zeck. Benjamin Mitchell Walker. Brett Michael Weiler. Emily Catherine Welch. Matthew Ronald White. Joshua James Widrick. Nicholas Christopher Zimmer.
There he is. Would the members of the Marcellus class of 2017 please stand? Mrs. Brantner, members of the Board of Education, the mission of the Marcellus Central School District is to provide an education that challenges, nurtures, and supports each child as a whole person. It is the intent that each student will develop the responsibility, the confidence in his or her talents, and the knowledge necessary to function as a productive citizen in a diverse and changing world. As principal of Marcella Senior High School, I hereby proclaim mission accomplished. Congratulations to the class of 2017, the 124th graduating class of Marcellus Senior High School. As you've done since the day you walked in this building, together, we will do the last thing together. At this time, I confer the title of graduate upon you. You may symbolize this by moving your tassel from the left to the right. Congratulations, graduates of Marcellus Senior High School.